Hello, everyone. This is TVX again, bringing forward to you DIRO, a Driven Incident Response Orchestrator, which is the digital incident commander for modern cybersecurity teams, acting as acting as the central brain during security events. DIRO continuously ingests alerts from SIEMs, EDR, IDS, through IPS, and cloud logs, then normalizes triages and enriches them with real-time threat intelligence. Its mission is simple but powerful. Reduce mean time to detect and mean time to respond by auto automating the first 80% of the incident response while ensuring human oversight for incident decision. With DIRO, organization gains speed, accuracy, compliance, clarity. And with speed, we talk about detect threats in minutes, contain them in under 10 minutes. Accuracy, reduce false positive and escalate only when human judgment is essential. Compliance, automatically document incident in line with NIST, ISO, GDPR, and HIPAA. And clarity, as we have seen, as I said before, deliver tailored report for SOC analysts, managers, and executive. In short, before we go into how it functions, in short, DIRO transforms incident response from a reactive scramble into a systematic, intelligence-driven process that minimizes damage, preserve evidence, and restore normal operation quickly. Now, in order for us to explore how this can be beneficial to organizations and businesses, we are going to ingest DIRO with some information about phishing or credential theft attempt. We're going to ingest DIRO with some information, which is a scenario about phishing or credential theft attempt. Then we are going to ask some questions, some follow-up questions to see the reaction or to see how they will respond to this event. So we are considering this event that we are giving DIRO right now. We're considering it as an attack. So let's give it to DIRO and see what it comes. So DIRO is analyzing the attack. Putting everything together in order. Now, what he's asking us, will you like a detailed technical report, compliance mapping, or a playbook update for this incident? That's not what we're interested. But that's something that you can gain out of an incident that was ingested into DIRO. Now, let's ask our question. DIRO, based on that incident, let's ask some questions. Maybe you could not comprehend the incident very well, but you want DIRO to analyze the incident for you. The first question we're asking DIRO is, what alert did you ingest and how did you normalize them? So DIRO has identified unusual login attempt. And then detail, he gave us a login IP address, the geolocated outside the company normal operating region. And he's now going further. That's what SIEM was. That's what he ingested from SIEM, and he went further to tell us that it tells the endpoint detection response that the alert came as abnormal process behavior on the user's device, and details new process attempting to connect to an external IP domain after user click a link, and then correlated device was employee workstation. He went further to analyze the email gateway where he alerts that suspicious email detected. Details of it was email with subject payroll updates containing a link to malicious base, correlated recipient finance department employee. Alert normalization, DIRO normalized process transform raw source specific alert into standardized actionable format for correlation and response. Here's how the normalize was performed. He gives you what he do for each step, and then he does the normalization. Now he went further to give us a normalization as we have seen. Extracted and standardized indicator for compromise. He did all that, and what are they? Malicious domain, suspicious IP address, and file hash. He went further for B. He said unified event timeline. The timeline is very, very important. So he said the timestamp event or alert were timestamp and sequent to reconstruct this attack chain. And he went ahead to say accept correlation. User account map across email, SIEMs, and EDR logs to confirm the same employee was involved. Device, correlated device, as we said, he looked at the IP address, the DDR, and the SIEM. Contextual enrichment, business context, identify the user as a finance department employee, flagging higher risks due to access to payroll data. Very, very important. So we have a lot to cover. We're reading the headlines so that we follow up. But if you need more, you can always reach out or feel free to get the tool and use it for yourself. Now, the next question we are going to be asking DIRO is, how did you decide this incident was high risk? How did you decide this incident was high risk? Let's see. Oh, there's a glitch. There's a glitch on the platform. Okay, it came back. Now, DIRO is explaining to us. DIRO determined this incident was high risk severity based on a combination of technical, contextual, and business impact factor. Here is the decision logic. So the first point was asset criticality. Very important. The targeted user is a member of the finance department. Very, very important. Finance users typically have access to sensitive payroll and financial data. Compromise of such account poses a risk of financial fraud, payroll manipulation, or exposure of sensitive employee information. I'm not trying to say DIRO should replace the SOC team or cybersecurity analyst, but DIRO can be of much help to analyze attack as quick as possible, reducing time of shutdown or improve back to normal operation as quick as possible. He talks about the attack vectors and the indicators. The attack involved a phishing email with a malicious link, a common vector for credential theft. The phishing campaign was confirmed to be active in the finance sector, increasing the likelihood of targeted sophisticated attack. The user entered credential on a fake login page, indicating a successful credential harvesting attempt. Let's not go too far. Let me not go too far reading every stuff. As I said, I'm just demonstrating what DIRO can do. And if you want to know more, I'm inviting you to try or request a full video, because the video I can't make the video too long. However, let's move forward. Why not critical? Why not? He went further to analyze and say, why not take critical? No evidence of actual data exfiltration, privilege escalation, or ransomware activity. The incident was contained before further compromise of the lateral movement. Thank you. He gave a conclusion there. But let's proceed. We still have some more questions to ask. Okay, which we want to know what type of assets in that department or for the organization was affected or critical. Let's keep going. DIRO is doing the findings. It's going to bring us good information. As I said, DIRO is not to replace humans, but it is there to work with them, give them report or analyze report as quick as possible as compared to how they're going to do it. Now, he's giving us financial department employee account. That's one of the things that were affected. Employee workstation, an asset with the laptop name is given, and the payroll and finance system. Those are the asset, and he's giving us a summary table of the asset that were impacted, so that those people who are doing decisions or they're deciding upon what is going on, they are going to know exactly what to do. So let's move forward. The next question we want to ask DIRO is, what do we know about the domain? What do we know about the domain malicious beast? Let's hear what he will tell us out of the information that we have ingested. So we assume that the attack, he was part of the attack. He has already ingested the information we gave him. We gave DIRO, so we are getting this information back from DIRO. So DIRO is working. While it's working, take time to look at these other beautiful answers, affected assets that he has bring together for us to see. So we are going to see now more. This question that we are asking DIRO is more on threat intelligence. The first question that we are asking DIRO was alert and triage. Now this question we're asking DIRO is more about threat intelligence. So maybe I'll try to ask all the questions at once so that all of us can follow up. So here is what DIRO has gathered about the malicious domain piece. Confirm malicious use. The domain was used. Furthermore, for more information is still coming. Oh God! And there's references that DIRO has given us to see. And he went further, or DIRO went further to say that the domain was used in a phishing campaign targeting a finance department employee. It led to a fake login page designed to steal credentials. And so he went further to say reputation and industry report, and he gave us trade campaign context and technical indicators that indicate a defensive action and references. Now, we could go further to ask good questions. I will still ask more questions under the threat intelligence so that we can move to the other stuff, because the video is really getting far. We already asked the first question, so let's ask the next question. This is about threat intelligence. So we're asking questions about threat intelligence. So this is what we are asking DIRO. The first one that we did was alert, to see his capacity. So let's proceed with these other two questions. We have asked, is the file hash linked to any non-malware campaign? What threat actors, TTPs, are associated with this? So let's give DIRO some time to do some findings and then bring our answers back to us. So we're giving Zero some time to do the findings. I think there's a glitch. There's a glitch. Yeah, it's back. Good. Question number 1. Is the file hash linked to any known malware campaign? The specific hash was observed on the finance user endpoint after phishing email. Why no public threat in intelligence sources directly reference this hash? Its behavior, credential theft after phishing matches common malware family used in finance phishing campaign. Wow, this is interesting. Let's not go too far. Let's go to the one fact, the second question about it. What threat actor TTP are associated with these phishing attempts? Common TTP tactic, techniques, and procedure for this scenario. So he talks about initial access, execution, credential access, command and control, defend evasion, collection, exfiltration. Wow, this is interesting. I will have our references how we can go back there to check. Okay, let's go to the next set of questions and ask Zero about automation response. So we're asking Zero about automation response. What containment action did you take automatically? How did you preserve forensic evidence for compliance? Which playbook did you use for this response? Let's see how Dira is going to give us this information. Yes, Diro has already given us the answer about automated response. He said Diro, Diro executed the following automation containment action. Quarantine the phishing email. Very good. Reset employee credential. Block malicious domain and IP. Isolate endpoints. Very important. The next that we asked was, how did you preserve forensic evidence? Did you ensure forensic integrity and compliance by collecting and storing raw artifacts? Chain of custody and compliance mapping. Those of us who are in the IT field or the cybersecurity field will understand this perfectly. Next question was, which playbook did you use for this response? Did you use the following playbook? Playbook name, phishing, credential compliance, finance user, automated containment, and evidence preservation. And playbook source, that's where the source came from. Key steps in the playbook: ingest and correlate, normalize and enrich, quarantine malicious email, block malicious domain, preserve all relevant forensic evidence, notify SOC, and then map action. How happy will you be sleeping at home and you know that there is someone protecting your system for you? Let's move further. There are so many things that we want to ask Zero, and we need to get our answers. So let's ask about documentation and communication. The first question: can you generate the incident record with compliance mapping? What information should SOC analysts see versus executives? How do you ensure chain of custody in your documentation? So that's a good question. Those are a good set of questions to ask to see. These are questions that will take us humans a while to respond, even the top of the company, the top IT person in the company. Good, that asks us to approve, and we have all the stuff approved and all the timestamps on it. Let's click yes. So Diro is generating the report. And our last one will be recovery and continuous learning. That's the last thing we are going to test to see how useful DIRO can be to us in the cyber security department. You deploy DIRO, you have deployed success. DIRO is very minimal in size and it's something that we can all configure and we can enrich DIRO with APIs from renowned platforms that have good records and connect it with our organization and have perfect DIRO that will protect our organization in real time and then give us report when we are not around. All right, DIRO has given us the information that we are waiting to see. Okay, let's start up. Can you generate the incident record with compliance mapping? Yes, here is the incident record. Phishing credential theft attempt, finance department, high severity. Phishing credential compliance framework, that is it. That's the compliance framework that we are using. We're using NIST 861 and GDPR. Affected finance and then thin laptop and all the endpoints and endpoint device. He went further and then gave all the time that these things happen, all of it. And then went further for the response action, quarantine, and then went further for compliance mapping the NIST 861 and the GDPR. He also went further to see, okay, the next question, what information should sub-analyze C versus executive? So full technical timeline and roll-up, indicators of compromise, forensic evidence, and chain of custody details, detailed response action and containment steps, recommendation for further monitoring and detection rule updates, and compliance requirement for evidence handling and documentation. Executive will see what happened, the impact, and the current status. That's all they need to know. Confirmation of compliance. They want to know if was this thing taken care of. High level recommendation, user training, process improvement, and so on and so forth. So let's keep going further because there's so beautiful things that we can learn from this one. How do you ensure chain of custody in your documentation? Evidence collection, action logging, audit trail, compliance documentation, and review and sign off. Now let's go further to the last but not the least questions that we want to gain out of DIRO today. Now, recovery and continuous learning. How did you verify the system is secure after recovery? What lesson learned will you feed back into future playbooks? How will this incident improve detection rules going forward? Beautiful. That's beautiful. Let's wait and see what DIRO is going to give us. Wow, this is super fast. How did you verify the system is secure after recovery? Post-recovery verification step included credential reset confirmation, firewall blocklist validation, endpoint malware scan, log review, user interview, monitoring, and closure criteria. What lesson learned will you feed back into future playbooks? Phishing your analysis, user awareness, incident timeline optimization, evidence handling, communication, and post-incident review. How will this incident improve detection rules going forward? Instead of compromise, integration. Add malicious domain bees that and the credential stealer file hash to SIEM, EDR, and email security blacklist and detection rule. behavioral analytic update SIEM, EDR roles to flag login attempts from unusual geolocation, rapid sequence or email click, new process creation or endpoints and immediately after clicking suspicious link. The beautiful things keep going and going, and there is a fine summary. Dear friends and colleagues, I'm inviting you guys to come and try this. Give me your feedback. Let us work together and see how we can make this a better tool out there for our society. Thank you. God bless you.